What's up, everybody? You're back in here. Pro Football Pod. You've got Hulk. You've got Coach. We're hanging out. We've got the AFC East preview continuing. We've got the Buffalo Bills Mafia for you today. Are they going to be able to finally get over the hump, or are they going to take a back step? I'm really excited to kind of dive into the Bills here, not just because, as a Dolphins fan, I just have a deep disdain for them, but take the bias out of it. They are a very intriguing team. They have been for the last few years now.
I think getting rid of Stephon Diggs is eventually going to help them. I don't think it helps them this year. He's a phenomenal talent, but he's also a very cancerous player. So what he does to your locker room obviously had effects. I mean, him and Josh Allen were getting into fights after the first game because they lost, and they're not supposed to lose any games in Stephon's eyes.
And let's be honest, and you can look at it fantasy wise, betting on player props, any way you want to look at it. The last two seasons in the back half of the year, Stephon Diggs just disappears, especially in the playoffs. And it's not for lack of targets. I mean, there are some games that are outliers where he had 4 targets versus the Chiefs in the playoffs one year. Okay, why? But then you look at other years where he's had 8 targets and 3 receptions for 17 yards. And it's what are we doing here? What's the problem? So I see what you're saying. For me, it was one of those, let's just cut our losses with him. Let's get out from under it. We see a miniature rebuild on the horizon, figuring out how to work younger guys in around Josh's cap. And so I get it, and I do, and I agree with you. I don't think this season is going to benefit them. I do think they take a step back as a team this year.
I don't think that they got better in the offseason. I think that they didn't get a whole lot worse. They still have one of the best quarterbacks in the league at being able to output volume of statistics. He's going to get a bunch of rushing and a bunch of passing yards and a bunch of touchdowns.
Kind of worries me a little bit is because Josh has a tendency to be Superman and throw the cape on and just do what he has to do. And I do feel like losing Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, is he going to force that more?
Yeah.
And I don't know if more of that is good for Josh. Josh has led the league in turnovers, not every season been number one, but if you go back the last 4 or 5 seasons, he is the top guy in turnovers, and it continues to rise because of all the risks and the chances he takes. And I understand it with the talent. If you go back and watch the Drake May episode or the New England Patriots episode, subscribe and hit that notification bell, you'll get those for you. We talked about this with them, that risk, it comes with a lot of reward and highlight plays. It gets you on ESPN. It has Good Morning Football standing you all day long, just absolutely dropping everything for you. I get it. But I mean, it obviously it hasn't done what it's needed to. You look at the past couple of years, and it's every year it's been quote unquote a failure. As a Dolphins fan, I can't say it's been a failure because they've gotten further than the Dolphins every year. But for what their team expectations have been, it has been failures. You haven't been able to get past Joe Burrow and the Bengals. You haven't been able to get past Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. That's my thing, is you've got these constant humps you can't get over.
Them losing Matt Milano last year hurt their defense a lot. If they don't lose Matt Milano, I don't think that they struggle as much early as they did. They eventually figured it out. They eventually had some guys come in and step up, and they weren't as good as...
Terrell Bernard came in and stepped up hard, bro.
It wasn't as good as Milano, but he definitely stepped up, and the fact that you're going to get to have him and Milano at the same time, I think that this is the second best team in the AFC East. As far as just the pure roster. Whether or not they have the best quarterback in the AFC East is still yet to be decided. He definitely has the best rushing ability. He definitely has the most ability to just kind of take over the game in the fourth quarter. But if he takes it over and then he makes one of those crucial mistakes, then they lose the game. Whereas I feel like adding Keon Coleman, adding Javon Solomon in the end of the draft. Like these young players are making them better, but not right now. I think that in the next 2 or 3 years, we could see them totally surpass what they were the last 2 or 3 years. But it's not going to happen this year. Their win total being 10.5 is literally such a trap, in my opinion. I think that they
Yep.
could still win 10 games. They might even win 11. But like to think that they're just going to easily run through and go 11-6.
No, I'd be stressed out if I bet the over on the 10.5. Like,
Yeah.
we're just going to go ahead and get there on that one. Now, looking at the team, like I said, they lost Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, lost Leonard Floyd on the defensive side, Jordan Poyer, and
man, that's
Micah
big.
Hyde. Micah
That-
Hyde is still a free agent out there. He might come back.
Those are leaders
He
of
also
their
could
defense.
potentially retire. They brought in Curtis Samuel at wide receiver, Matt Collins, Mike Edwards over from the Chiefs, and they brought in Nick Morrow at linebacker. Mike Edwards playing safety. For me, that's where my worry with this team is. I think their front seven is solid, but their back end would stress me out. Like Rasul Douglas is decent. Christian Benford was very solid last year, but he was more solid in the sense of as a chess piece.
Yeah.
He came in the box and played nickel safety. He played nickel corner for you. He played some linebacker. Like, he was everywhere. So as far as him on just a strictly outside corner position, I don't necessarily know what we're going to really be looking at there for you. I mean, looking at it, he played 28 snaps in the box, 798 snaps of his defensive plays were at outside cornerback. Gave you solid production and what you wanted to see. It's 6'1", 205, but for me, I just, like you said, I don't feel like they got better. I feel like, they kind of did enough to stay afloat if the Dolphins and the Jets make mistakes.
Yes, agreed. I think that talking about ADP, James Cook is a little bit intriguing. This is going to be a good offense. Whenever they got rid of their offensive coordinator last year, they started to kind of dig into what they do the best instead of trying to develop the team to fitting a particular system. I think that James Cook being a receiving threat helps him a lot. Ray Davis is a little bit intriguing as well. Not necessarily to draft this year, but like in a dynasty type format, I think Ray Davis is very interesting. I don't think that James Cook is going to get hurt or anything like that, but this team is going to be in the red zone often. And the running backs have been hurt by the fact that Josh Allen inside the 20 is, 20% of the time he runs it in for a touchdown. Like, it's hard. And it's hard that's the reason he's the number one quarterback off the board. And you're getting him in the end of the second round. I think that as far as the wide receivers go, I really only expect one person to be able to receive enough off of this team to have real value, and I honestly think that might be Dalton Kincaid. He won't need.
Agreed.
He won't
I
need a
think
lot
he
of
leads
volume.
them in receptions and yards.
Yeah.
Like, for me, Keon, I agree. Like, I think he's more of a red zone target for you. I don't know how much he's going to give you in the route running ability. And we've seen it with Josh too. Like, he'll lean on those big play guys and his safety nets, which are his tight ends. So I think Shakir does give you some value in the 12th round.
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel being a new guy on the squad, as well as Valdez Scantling, like, they could give you value down the line, but I'm not too confident in the value starting out with. Like, their wide receiver core for me is kind of like what we spoke about with the Patriots, of any one of these guys could step up, but I do agree the one safe guy is Dalton Kincaid.
And you're getting him in the 5th round as the fifth tight end off the board. I honestly think that he might go a little bit sooner.
For me,
whenever we
I
get
treat
closer.
Dalton Kincaid with this roster is currently constructed. I treat him like I would Travis Kelce. Like, I'm taking tight end out of it. He's a pass catcher at that point, and
exactly.
I'm getting a number one pass catcher for that team in the 4th or 5th round. Like, I'm completely cool with that.
Yeah, I agree with completely. Obviously, Josh Allen is the best quarterback to have in fantasy because he runs the ball so often. He scores so many rushing touchdowns. It doesn't matter if he throws 3 picks in the first half. Like, he's still going to get all the opportunities. So, him, Kincaid, and James Cook, those are the 3 guys that I'm targeting off of this team.
Let me note that down for any possible dynasties. Got it. All right. We got that right
in a
there.
dynasty, I'm taking Josh Allen at the 101. Like, Superflex Dynasty, he's still the 101 for me.
Yeah, you almost have to. An argument I think could be made for Lamar Jackson or Pat.
No, I think CJ Stroud is the argument.
the CJ would be a good argument.
I mean, because he's 21 years old.
We might have to. We're definitely going to try to hit a dynasty rankings episode for the people going forward here, because those are just fun, nice little discussions. 500 subscribers, we are giving away a free jersey of your choice. Tell your homies, tell your friends, tell your family, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. We want to give a jersey away. We're begging to, so just hit the subscribe button. It's not that hard. You don't even have to watch the rest of the videos. Just click them and put them on mute. I don't care. TulsiRoseTea.com is the sponsor. We absolutely appreciate all your time. We love you guys. Peace out. Bills Mafia.